What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Monday, May 18th, 2026, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 16:24 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East, from Europe, and from here in the United States. So last night, Trump went on a social media spree. He posted all these different pictures generated by AI. Here we have one that he posted of him sitting in some kind of spaceship pressing a red button showing a nuclear detonation going off somewhere over planet Earth, and then looks like some space-based weaponry destroying targets in low Earth orbit. And you can see what appears to be the Star Trek symbol, the upside down V there. So I don't know if he's showing the Golden Dome or if he's showing himself nuking various countries. It's very concerning because of the mushroom cloud and the big red button. And remember, a couple of days ago, the U.S. moved a nuclear-armed submarine into the Mediterranean Sea, okay? So I don't know if this is a warning to Iran or if he's showing off the Golden Dome in action. Also, he posted this picture of himself walking beside a gray alien at Area 51. Very, very strange. And he also posted this picture of the U.S. invading Iran. Check this out. You can see the red arrows pointing to Iran from all directions, and a red, white, and blue American flag. And then he also posted this. He said, "For Iran, the clock is ticking, and they better get moving fast or there won't be anything left of them. Time is of the essence." Wow. So it doesn't get more clearer than that. The clock is ticking. They better get moving fast or there won't be anything left of them. Wow. So is he going to use that Ohio-class sub, the nuclear-armed sub, in the Mediterranean to nuke Iran? We'll have to wait and see. And the U.S. has rejected Iran's latest peace proposal, according to Israeli Channel 12. The revised proposal was delivered to the U.S. through Pakistani mediators yesterday on Sunday, so the U.S. has already rejected Iran's latest revised proposal. And according to Israeli Channel 12, Israel has received messages from the U.S. telling them that the dozens of American refuelers currently stationed at Ben Gurion International Airport are expected to remain in the country at least until the end of the year. Okay, at least until the end of the year. So there's dozens of KC-135s and KC-46 Pegasus refueler planes that are at Ben Gurion Airport now. And so it looks like this war is going to be dragged out through the rest of the year, which will be catastrophic for our economy. I hope Trump just gets it over with, finishes the job quickly rather than dragging it out through the rest of the year. And Trump is going to be holding another meeting on Iran tomorrow with his national security team. According to Axios, Iran's inability and unwillingness to shift left or right on key issues within the negotiation process has put military options back on the table. So they're going to have another big national security team meeting tomorrow. And apparently, according to CNN, Trump met on Saturday with senior members of his national security team at his Trump National Golf Club in Virginia to discuss next steps regarding the Iran war as he became increasingly frustrated with negotiations. The meeting included VP J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Rubio, CIA Director Ratcliffe, and Steve Witkoff. The Pentagon has prepared military targets in case Trump authorizes further strikes, including attacks on Iranian energy and infrastructure facilities. Okay, so he already had a small meeting over golf on Saturday, and he's going to have a more formal meeting with his entire team tomorrow. So it looks like round 2 is about to begin. If I had to guess when it's going to go down, I think it's going to go down after the Memorial Day weekend. Just knowing how Trump is, he doesn't want to interfere with a major U.S. holiday and starting a major military campaign right before. But who knows? You know, maybe he wants to give us a fireworks show. I have no idea. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video. And today, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a security cabinet meeting, according to Israel Hayom. And the Israeli Broadcasting Authority said the U.S. and Israel have raised their alert status for the possibility of resuming the war with Iran. And American Airlines has extended its suspension of nonstop flights from New York to Tel Aviv through January 6th of next year due to ongoing regional tensions. Okay, so American Airlines extending their suspension of flights from New York to Tel Aviv. That's a huge deal, guys. And attorneys for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have asked the court to cancel his scheduled testimony today in his corruption trial, citing diplomatic and security reasons. Okay, so his testimony was canceled today in his corruption trial for diplomatic and security reasons. Okay, that's the second time this has happened in the last 2 weeks. And U.S. officials said that negotiations with Iran have now reached a dead end. And Trump said, I think the Iranians should be afraid of what's going on right now. And the Israeli Broadcasting Authority said, in case Trump gives the green light to resume the war, joint attacks with Israel and the U.S. will be launched. And Iranian officials said that Iran is prepared to seize the coastlines of the UAE and Bahrain if the UAE attempts to seize Iranian-controlled islands in the Persian Gulf during a potential round 2 of the war. And there was a drone strike yesterday on the UAE at a nuclear power plant in Abu Dhabi. The drone took out an electrical generator at the Barak nuclear power plant just outside the inner perimeter where the actual nuclear reactor is located. According to a release from the UAE Ministry of Defense, the drone attack that damaged the generator on the perimeter of the Barak nuclear power plant in the Al Dhafar region was the result of 3 drones from a yet unspecified actor that entered the country from the west. Per the release, the incident is being investigated, and from what I'm hearing is they came from Iraq. So this is a big deal, guys. We have nuclear power plants in the Middle East that could be targeted during this war. Remember, there's the Bushehr nuclear reactor right on the Persian Gulf. If that thing were to get hit, that would have global consequences. It'd be worse than Fukushima. It would contaminate the entire Persian Gulf, and all the countries in the region would have no source of drinking water. And a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone armed with Hellfire missiles was shot down by the Houthis over Yemen yesterday. So that's not good. And Israel secretly operated at least 2 military bases in Iraq's western desert for over a year to support strikes against Iran without Iraq's knowledge. Wow. And Saudi Arabia said that they shot down 3 drones that entered their airspace from Iraq, shooting them down in record time. Interesting. And we have some very concerning news coming out of Africa. Looks like there's an outbreak of Ebola in the Congo and Uganda. And now 6 Americans have been exposed to Ebola during the current outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. 3 faced high-risk contact or exposure, while 1 is symptomatic, though it is still unclear if any were confirmed to be infected or if they were still in the Congo, sources with international aid organizations told CBS News. Wow. And following the World Health Organization's declaration of the Ebola outbreaks in the Congo and Uganda, the U.S. State Department, via the U.S. Embassy in Uganda, has advised U.S. citizens to practice enhanced precautions when traveling to and from the affected countries. Wow. And Ukraine conducted a massive strike on Moscow over the weekend. Here we have footage of some kind of big refinery that was hit by Ukrainian drones and cruise missiles over Moscow. This was apparently hundreds of Ukrainian drones involved in this attack. Okay, so absolutely insane. And Belarus has restricted access to 19 forests along its entire border with Ukraine, Poland, and Lithuania. Ukraine's SBU, that's their military intelligence, believes the restrictions could be used for covert troop movements. Okay, and we heard just a few days ago, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, said that they had intelligence that Belarus was preparing to invade possibly either a European country or Ukraine. And NATO has started its largest special forces exercise in Europe to date, with as many as 3,000 special operators from the US, the UK, as well as some non-NATO countries like Switzerland and the Republic of Georgia, and 20 other countries taking part in a 10-day exercise over the territory of 10 different European countries. The exercise is designed to simulate an enemy force infiltrating NATO territory with the purpose of conducting internal sabotage operations. Wow. Okay, so that's a big deal, guys. The largest special forces exercise in Europe. And Trump's security advisors fear that China will invade Taiwan within 5 years and that the U.S. chip supply chain won't be ready for that. And yesterday, the Philippine Coast Guard said they intercepted the Chinese oceanographic research vessel, the Xiangyang Hong 33, as it was conducting unauthorized marine scientific research inside the territorial waters of the Philippines near the disputed Spratly Islands in the South China Sea. Wow. And Axios is reporting that Cuba has acquired 300 military drones from Russia and Iran and has discussed using them to attack Guantanamo Bay, U.S. naval vessels, and Key West, Florida. CIA Director John Ratcliffe flew to Havana, Cuba, to personally warn Cuba against any attacks on the U.S. U.S. officials say Cuban soldiers who fought for Russia and Ukraine are now bringing home drone warfare lessons. So very concerning. And the Cuban foreign minister issued a warning saying Cuba is a country of peace, but if it is militarily attacked, it will exercise its right to legitimate self-defense. So I think we're going to see it, guys. We're going to see the U.S. go into Cuba and invade Cuba. I think it's coming. There's a complete fuel shortage in Cuba. There's no fuel at all in the whole island, okay? But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I might be back later on tonight with more breaking news. And until then, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is Matt Hat Jerky. Guys, if you're a beef jerky lover like myself, you got to try Matt Hat Jerky. This is the best beef jerky I've ever had. I personally met the owner of this company at SHOT Show, and he's actually local to Pennsylvania. This company has an interesting story behind it. He founded this company when he was 11 years old. Yeah, that's right, 11 years old. He's now 19, and he makes gourmet beef jerky, the best jerky I've ever had. He's got over a dozen different flavors, and it's all sourced with U.S. beef, so no foreign beef, no nitrates, and no MSG. So it's all natural American beef jerky. And if you use my promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And you got to go to matthatjerky.com. And I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. That's matthatjerky.com. One word, matthatjerky.com. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off your entire order, and the link and the promo code are in the description down below.